Abdullah, you wanted to say something? Abdullah, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, we have seen a lot of people who, while praying, while standing in prayer, they just stand too long, and others just, as if they were playing some kind of sport. So
fabrication.
Yeah,
fabrication. Sorry.
Yeah. So how could we? What should we do? What is the period should we stand in the prayer?
Mm-hmm. Actually, there isn't any fixed period that one should time himself in prayer. The most essential thing is that you have to have this submissiveness in your prayer, khushu'. So a person could go on for an hour or two in one single prayer, and another one could go on for 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes for the same prayer. Both prayers are accepted, and maybe the shorter one might be better than the longer one. It depends on the contemplation, the concentration, and the submissiveness in prayer. So it is not something that you can calculate by saying that this is longer, this is better.
But that causes, debate between scholars and maybe between Muslims themselves, because those say that, yeah, we don't have a lot of time, we need to go back to work and stuff, and others say, all right, we perform the salah in accordance with the,
more concentration.
Yeah, yeah.
So is the importance, it's not necessarily the importance in the length of the prayer itself, but in the, as you're saying, being submissive?
Well, actually, this is one of the greatest attributes of Islam, that it is flexible. So in workplaces, for example, when you have only 15 minutes break, it is not logical for someone to come and say, listen, I'm a Muslim. I'm going to take my time for the rest of the day, for a couple of hours, to pray and perform ablution. And no, this is not acceptable. And it's extremely unacceptable when the guy goes back to his house and pray Isha prayer in less than 15 seconds. So he should be consistent. And it's flexible in the sense that if you're praying on your own, you have the whole night for you to pray. You prolong your prayer as much as you want. The Prophet ﷺ set the example for us regarding the length of prayers. For example, Fajr prayer, which is the longest prayer of the day, he used to recite 100 verse. So this is pretty long, okay? But in some instances, in an incident, the Prophet ﷺ prayed both rak'ahs with a surah, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالًا, which is not more than 3 lines. In the first rak'ah and the same rak'ah, the same surah. So this sets the example that, listen, as a Muslim, you have this short, it is acceptable. And you have this long, is acceptable.
As well.
It depends. If you're praying on your own, you may prolong it as much as you want. If you're leading the prayer, then you should take care of those who are praying behind you, because among them there is a sick person, there are the elderly, there are those who have lots of things to do after prayer. So by prolonging your prayer, you're going to cause a lot of enemies to hate what you're doing.
But forgive my question, Sheikh. Do you pray because you are ordered to pray, or is there some wisdom behind prayers?
Actually, there are lots of wisdoms behind it, but definitely if Allah did not order us to pray, we're not going to pray. Say there's no revelation for us that, okay, you pray, you fast. Whatever we do it because Allah has instructed us to do it. Whether we can sense and feel the wisdom behind it or not. And this is very essential, because in materialistic countries and environments, people tend to logic whatever they see. And in so many cases, you fail. Your logic fails you. In religion, you may not apply this methodology, because if you apply your logic to religion, you end up in the losing end. This is not logical, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you an example. When Allah Azza wa Jal created Adam, He ordered Satan to prostrate to Adam. Satan made the unforgiven mistake. He applied his logic. He said, come on, I'm better than he is. You created me from fire, and you created him from clay. And the result was, he is in hell forever. So, you never apply your logic with the orders of Allah, the Almighty, or with the orders of the instructions of the Prophet ﷺ. Having said that, we as Muslims believe 100, well, let me exaggerate a little bit, 120% that there is a wisdom. And in 99.9%, it's like the Arab elections. Okay. In 99.9%, we succeed in pinpointing the wisdom behind it. Anything, just you name it, I can give it to you. But there's always 0.01% that Allah is testing your faith and belief in accepting it as it is without acknowledging or knowing the wisdom. What's the wisdom behind making intoxicants forbidden? It's very easy. It makes liver cancer, it makes you do things, you regret doing it, and so on and on and on. So the wisdom is there. Fornicating, the wisdom is there. I can tell it. Giving money to the poor, zakah, prayer, fasting, all of these things I can pinpoint the wisdom behind them. But sometimes I am encountered with things that are tests of my faith and belief without any logic. And here we come at the fork of the road. Those who believe in Allah, those who believe in the unseen as they are described in the Quran, would follow and say, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. We have heard and we obey.
Yes.
But those who apply their logic would probably refute this and maybe nullify their Islam. For example, and I always give this example because I like it, it's very funny. If someone comes to you and asks you about Islam, you tell them that the pillars of Islam is blah, blah, blah. And one of them is prayer. He says, what's prayer? You say, we pray 5 times a day. That's cool. How do you pray? You say, we perform ablution. We wash our limbs and face 3 times in every single prayer. So this is almost 15 times a day. So wow, man, your religion is neat. You wash your feet 15 times. I barely wash my face once a day, only in the morning. Your religion is a religion of cleanliness. How would you feel? I would feel proud.
Of course.
You know, of my religion. Yes, thank you. You're a non-Muslim. You're acknowledging that my religion is a religion of cleanliness. I am very proud. I could fly. But then he asks me a very simple question. He says, what happens if you don't have water? So this simple. I just hit the sand with my hands and wash my face and my hands with the sand. I said, what? Your religion is a religion of cleanliness.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I said, well, Allah instructed me to do this in the Quran. Tayammum, dry ablution. So, again, I cannot understand if you don't have water that cleans, why do you dust your face and hands? The least you could do is nothing. So, well, sorry, this is my religion. Now, if I apply my logic, I would say, duh, there's something fishy, you know, I don't like this. But as a Muslim, I say, yes, I do this. And I believe that this is the ruling of Allah, the wisdom,